Whirlwind being map number 2, and the Protoss player for Samsung Khan, he starts at the top right of the map once again in orange. This is, of course,
Samsung Khan jangbi.
Jangbi. Which I think, I'm not 100%. No, never mind. I'm not gonna say it.
Bottom right of the map, we have his opponent in purple. So the Zerg player for Team FX Open. This is
FXO Leenock.
Leenock playing on a really big map here, and a map that is usually pretty good for Zerg, but Protoss has a couple of really great timings that they can use to take this. So the question, of course, being first of all scouting. Is Leenock gonna scout this early on with the gateway? He should be able to spot it because he has the Overlord already on the way to the top right, so he will see the expansion, and then he will see that there is no forge, therefore immediately knowing that there is a gateway opening. I expect that we see him playing a little bit more safe than he did in game number 1.
For sure.
For a pretty simple reason. It's so much easier for the Protoss player to attack a third base on this map if you compare it to Anaconda.
It's true. Unless Leenock goes under, again, false assumptions here when he sees no Nexus, and he's expecting a Forge, he'll see this, and he's not turning around. Because, of course, there's a high chance. We already saw a Gateway expand in Game 1. There's a high chance of that. He checks also very carefully. I really like what we're seeing him do it naturally. He sends a drone down just to make sure he's not being cannoned, because he did go for a hatch first, and he didn't scout anything yet, so super safe. I really, really like what Leenock is doing here.
He watched a couple of SOS games. He knows exactly what can happen on this map if you are not attentive as a Zerg, and he sends out that so important drone, but gets away with the hatch first anyways. The Overlord now moving into the main base. We'll see a glimpse of the Nexus, so everything's fine for Leenock. Tries to turn around right away, and the reason for that, pretty simple. The Overlord itself has a bigger line of sight than all the structures, so jangbi still doesn't know where Leenock spawns. Because if he moves in with the Overlord, then from the angle, jangbi will know where the Zerg player is located. And this is exactly why Leenock runs away with the Overlord to the left side, because he expected already a probe to come down, and why he didn't go to the bottom instead.
Yeah. Rough situation really in Game 1, but in Game 2, I think that he's got the opening he wants so far. And again, though, he's not taking the gases just yet, however. So he's actually moving a drone over to the third. He's going to try for it.
One of the things, I mean, we talk about a Zerg player that should get his speed a bit faster when he sees a gateway opening. But it's actually true that you don't need to get that speed right away. You can delay it a little bit. You still need it against the gateway opening. But if you map out your timings really well, you can get the extractor a little bit later than you would expect. So I feel this is exactly what Leenock is doing here. He looks at the timings that a Protoss player has, and he's like, okay, you know what? I can delay my extractor for just a tiny little bit. I will still be able to get my speed out for normal timing, and gets the third base instead. It's also a matter of how well you saturate your bases. Because when Naniwa was starting to come up or come back with this build in particular, most Zerg players were used to just deal with forge timings, and that's why they over-droned heavily. By now Zerg knows when these timings are going to hit, so they are droning a little bit faster. This is also why we see that Roach Warren roughly around the 6-minute mark, because you needed 1.5 minutes before before you would get it with the forge opening. And that's exactly what we have here right now. Double extractor, even spawn spine crawler now, so a very, very safe build.
Yeah, should see the Roach Warren in a second. The Overlord here is trying to scout. He's going to get denied, and there's the Roach Warren.
Yeah, and you know what else is there? We have 4 additional gateways being built. That puts jangbi up to 5 gates, and that makes those additional structures that Leenock is currently building just so much more valuable. Oh, wow. Leenock actually with a massive blunder here, like that supply block should not have happened. He is so heavily supply blocked, and he just started an Overlord. And one Overlord is also not going to be enough. He needs more, and I don't think he
needs a lot more than that, and I don't think he realizes it either. He starts drones now too, Calor, and the third base hasn't been scouted, but if it is, then jangbi's just going to kill it. I don't think he's going to, though. I think he's just going to try to go to the main base.
I don't know, Leenock. You need that Overlord, and he needs it, man.
Fast. He's not starting it. There it is, but it's only 1, and he's going to need more than 1.
He sees the pylon now. He needs so much more. He needs spine crawlers. He has to abandon that third base.
Yeah, the jangbi, I don't think he's even going to attack the third. He hasn't even scouted the third base there. He knows it's there without scouting it, but...
And you know, Leenock never even started speed. He never even tried to go into speed. He just gets his roaches out there. So he's playing this a bit too greedy for my likings. And
he's moving the spine to the third as if he has a chance of saving it, but the answer is no. He doesn't realize how many gates there are coming down, but...
yeah, this is... I'm sorry, Leenock, but that just won't work.
Yeah, the pylon here is targeted. I like that. At least he gets that much.
That's a good move, but there is another pylon on the map that has been built to the left side, and the third base is down. So this is one of those anti-third timings, and Leenock, I expected him to get that gas just in time for his speed. He didn't. He actually was supply blocked. He got drones, way too many for that. Couldn't build any units, and now he's paying the price.
Yeah, jangbi is supply blocked right now, but he has 2 pylons on the way. He will be able to warp in a few additional units. But for him, he can actually just walk away from this happily and take a third base. I don't think he will because he has the power to actually end this game, but he doesn't have to. He's going to go for it. It's all about the force fields here. Leenock with roach speed now started, but it's a long ways away.
He's trying to move in at the top right now, but the wall is tight. There's nothing that he can do. He needs to warp in a unit or two to take down those Zerglings, but still, jangbi in a great position here.
Yeah, gets the sentries here, will easily be able to hold that. And I think he's going to walk home because he sees that Leenock has a lot of roaches. He could win the fight, but he doesn't have to do that.
He can just stick around a little bit longer. He can always recall if need be, but for now, why not just posture around a little bit?
He has the time warps
to get additional units out there. Third base for Leenock, unscouted by jangbi. Didn't see that there was another drone sneaking to the left side, but if he uses that pylon, he might actually just double check.
Yeah. Oh, this is such a great position for jangbi. Leenock is having such a rough time in this series. Just time and time again. And jangbi now forced away. If good force fields go down, he could actually trap a lot of roaches. Leenock cannot fight up that ramp.
Leenock's just trying to set up a sandwich. And that's also why jangbi is very reluctant to move down here. He knows that there are several forces now on the map. Another Zergling attempt to take down the pylon. That would take a lot of the aggression away.
Leenock getting a few of his roaches out of position here.
Yeah, and roaches and queens from another angle moving in. But the rest is moving to the top right.
He should recall. I don't think he knows that the rest of those units are coming towards his base.
He's going to recall as soon as he sees them.
This may give Leenock enough time to break through, though. He doesn't have speed yet, but he's about to, and should be fine.
And, of course, the force fields here.
Leenock doing a little bit of damage. Doesn't really make up for what happened before, and oh no.
Leenock is still trying to move in and do some damage, but he's losing a fair amount of Zerglings and roaches here.
Look at that force to the right side. That one was just brilliant. You know, he traps the roach in there.
jangbi realizes that he has way too many minerals and immediately drops 3 additional gateways. Has also the +1 attack upgrade nearly completed.
Do you think he will just go for a second wave with Blink and +2 instead of going for a third base? Well, he sends the probe now to the third base location.
I think getting the third here is a really good choice. He knows that he is very much ahead, but yeah, he hasn't won the game just yet. Leenock is back on 3 bases and is also getting another macro hatch now. So Leenock can still come back into this, but he needs tech. He has Lair, but he has nothing else. He doesn't have a Hydra Den, he doesn't have an Infestation Pit. There's nothing else going on for him.
He's just now getting his +1 for his Roach attack. I mean, his upgrades are poor compared to jangbi, who's now getting +2 Chrono boosted out. Blink is almost done. He's trying to do these run-bys, which he will actually break through this time. Oh my god, those force fields are excellent here, and Leenock losing all ground now, and Blink is also done. He should Guardian Shield as well.
Yeah, he should just use his force fields again, and there they are. This is like trapping a mouse in a corner, and all those roaches, they can't even attack, you just sit there, and this is beautiful. Every Protoss player watching this right now is having a good time. Zergs, on the other hand, are probably not in the best spot.
They're shedding tears together.
Yeah, the army supply here at 67 for jangbi, the better upgrades, going into +2, has a completed Blink upgrade. These run-bys are this is the only thing that Leenock can do, and actually this time he gets into the base.
Yeah, he gets in, kills the sentry before it can actually go for a force field. Few units warping in, and jangbi actually taking some damage, but does Leenock have enough to hold at home? I think the answer is no. He's about to get these spine crawlers up, but they're not ready yet.
He needs to buy some time for those, and that's exactly what he's trying to do here. The Blink forward immediately on the high ground in the main base, still a few roaches. Drones coming off the mineral line. This is never a good sign. And yes, the spine crawlers, they are ready, but
they're too late.
I don't think that will be enough.
+2 is coming out here now for jangbi.
24 Zerglings are now moving in. We had a couple attacking that base to the right side, not going to do too much. In the main base, the roaches have been taken out already, and jangbi is just moving in with a 30 supply lead, taking down the queens. The last spine crawler is already dead. And this is going to be the end of it.
Yeah, this is going to be the end of it. The Leenock losing way too much here. Jangbi, the last OSL champion of Brood Warriors, going right back to the Premier League here. A great player in Starcraft 2. I think he's really finally... I mean, when you're taking out players like Leenock, you know you've become a great player in Starcraft 2.
Yeah, Leenock today looking a little bit shaky. Here comes the GG, of course. Jangbi with a 2-0 advances to the Premier League. Congratulations, really well played.
Leenock really refusing to play safe against Gateway Expands, part of his downfall here.
I don't think he expected Jangbi to be this aggressive, but that was just Jangbi 5-gating Leenock, taking down the third and taking it from there.
Yeah. He had some really excellent force fields in those engagements. Leenock actually not looking too disappointed. When you lose to builds like that, you always feel like, well, you know, it's not like I could have done anything except just play a little bit safer.
Oh no, that second game was definitely Leenock's mistake. I don't fault him for game number 1 at all, but game number 2, that was just him scouting, the scouting information that he had. He just gambled there way too much. Getting away with the hatch first was already really great, but then not getting the speed at all, like even when he realized, like, the supply blocks and everything at this point in the game, if you're getting supply blocked at 100 and something supply, okay, that happens every now and then.
Yeah.
But at that point in the game, when you're just starting to execute your build, the first 5 to 7 minutes, that's when you should hit your overlords. And he got so heavily supply blocked, then he built a single overlord, nothing else. He went into a fast lair, he got so greedy. That second game, that was not played well.
Yeah, no, not so much. And it was just one of those series that you look at, and in the Protoss timing builds are really strong, and if you cut too many corners, you're going to die.
Well, match results of the day, of course. Let's have a quick look at those.
Yeah,
As
here
you
they
can
are.
see, Gumiho with a 2-1 against Su was a really great series that we had, a very entertaining one. The same is also true for our first Terran versus Terran of the day.
Yeah, Dream took out Fantasy 2-0. Very good mech play from him. Really nice strategies that we saw. Much cleaner TBT. And last but not least, Jangbi with his timings took Leenock out. Leenock playing a little bit too greedy.
Yeah, playing a little bit too greedy there. So Jangbi, Dream, Byung, and Gumiho, they advance to the Premier League.
Indeed they do, and here are the matches for Thursday. Flying versus Parting, a Protoss versus Protoss first up. Then we'll have True up against Keen.
And Reality versus Kangho, that should be a really good game. SOS has to deal with Curious, also a pretty epic match. So good games on Thursday.
Yeah, a lot of different matchups. You know, one Protoss versus Protoss, so should be some sick matches. We'll be on Thursday, same time as today.
Yeah, 1 p.m. Korean Standard Time. So this also concludes the day, at least for the Challenger League. Later on we will have the first 2 best-of-5s in the round of 8 of the Premier League. So tune in for that. That's in exactly 2 hours. But for now we're done, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the games in the cast today. We're going to see you on Thursday with the next matches here in the 3rd round of the Challenger League. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
4 kids later down the line. My progression is my profession. I'm doing shows with a 9. My mama's trying to kick in. My sister, she doing fine. And I'm making my way through life, no longer blind. And wait.